It is no longer news that genetically modified foods pose potential health and environmental risks to human society. But the big question is how many people are informed about this, and how many are bold enough to stand against this evil agenda.
Watch this special documentary and be informed.
GPs spend much of their time trying to manage patients' blood pressure, their #1 health issue.
Heart disease is the rampaging #1 killer in America.
1 out of 3 American adults has hypertension, but in the African American community, high blood pressure affects a higher ratio of adults at nearly 40%. The question has long been why.
Don't misunderstand today's bioengineering. Don't misunderstand it.
A new euphemism for genetically modified. It's called bioengineered. Taking any plant, animal, or microbe and altering the natural DNA. It allows selected individual genes to be transferred from one organism to another, including between non-related species.
Stop eating this genetically modified crap!
For several years, humanity has been plagued by a multiplicity of ailments. For some it is lifestyle-induced, for others it is either a mishap or congenital malfunction, but for some others, certain ailments common to their age group have been found to be a well-calculated onslaught targeted at executing the well-documented population reduction agenda.
How can those who have a vision for a serious and major reduction of population in the world, how can you trust them to save your life? You have to know, this is the strategy. This is the strategy of the 21st century. This is the strategy. They've been at it for long. But now, it's becoming full blast. It's a strategy.
One strategy for depopulation, which the deep state has adopted for many years, is the willful deployment of the menace of genetically modified consumables. Most prominent among such in our world today is the genetically modified corn, also called maize.
Reject the genetically modified maize seeds that they are providing. Don't take them. It's been genetically modified. Substantially and fundamentally modified to become dangerous to health.
No longer resembles anything our bodies have ever known. Monsanto's genetically engineered corn, for example, produces a built-in pesticide known as Bt toxin inside each and every kernel. This way, when bugs attempt to eat the corn, they're killed. The problem, of course, is that when we eat this corn, we eat the built-in pesticide as well.
Now, in an interview for an upcoming French documentary, a Canadian scientist has been caught in an Aaron Brockovich-like moment when he's asked to defend that chemical against links to cancer rates in Argentina. Take a look.
Do not believe that glyphosate in Argentina is causing increases in cancer. You can drink a whole quart of it and it won't hurt you.
You want to drink some? We have some here.
I'd be happy to, actually, but not really, but
not really.
I know it wouldn't hurt me.
If you say so, I have some glyphosate.
No, I'm not stupid.
Tell the truth.
It's not dangerous to humans. No, it's not.
So you're ready to drink one glass of glyphosate?
No, I'm not an idiot. Okay, then it's finished. Then the interview is finished.
That's a good way to solve things.
Yeah.
In September 2012, the first long-term study on the effects of GMOs being consumed by live organisms was completed. The results were disturbing. GMOs turn food into poison. The number of companies producing GMO products has grown exponentially. Today, 75% of the food at Canadian grocery stores contains genetically modified ingredients, mainly in the form of 4 crops: corn, soy, cotton, and canola. Among the products you buy, GMOs can be found in meats, alcohol, soft drinks, juices, dairy products, frozen food, pasta, canned goods, baby food, cereal, bread, cosmetics, and even shampoo. This is not even half of the list. It is the worst trial and error case in the history of the food industry. The mass poisoning of billions of people with a toxic food crop that was never properly tested. Corporations are risking the future health and sustainability of life on this planet to pad their own pockets.
A very predominant ailment that has been connected to the consumption of the genetically modified maize is the well-documented high blood pressure, also known as hypertension.
What is blood pressure? Blood pressure is the force of blood. If your daily blood pressure is consistently high, this condition is referred to as hypertension. Hypertension is a condition in which resting blood pressure exceeds the upper limit of a normal range. Hypertension may accelerate the onset of arteriosclerotic diseases such as stroke, myocardial infarction, or atherosclerosis of the lower extremities. However, hypertension rarely presents with any symptoms, and this is why it is referred to as the silent killer.
Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. They afflicted the man with stroke and infertility, helped by the terrible GMO foods. You have to be very careful.
The truths that have never been said about corn, particularly as far as Africa is concerned. And in this case, it has something to do with hypertension.
Africa's corn addiction has reached and surpassed alarming levels, and nobody is complaining about it. And what people are saying instead is that we should continue consuming lots of corn.
Well, if we give them better seeds, if we provide more fertilizer, if we educate them about the best practices, then we'll start to see this very dramatic rise.
Recent scientific studies shows that high increase in corn consumption leads to higher risk of hypertension. Now, what makes this even worse is that a new research from the Journal of American Heart Association shows that African Americans are more prone to hypertension.
New research in the Journal of the American Heart Association shows that 75% of African American men and women are likely to develop high blood pressure by age 55, compared to just 55% of white men and 40% of white women.
Blood pressure is very complex. A part of it relates to diet.
According to a recent study on consumption of corn worldwide, the highest consumers of corn were the United States and China respectively. This is highly distressing, because according to the Center for Food Safety, 92% of corn grown in the United States is genetically engineered. In another study by the National Institute for Health, NIH, on fruit, vegetable consumption, and the incidence of hypertension, it was revealed that a higher consumption of corn was associated with an increased trend towards a higher risk of hypertension. While organic foods are by far the healthiest option for the perfect running of the human body, the emphatically key hypertension-inducing element in the mix are the genetically modified corn-based foods, as opposed to the purely organic corn-based foods. The import of this revelation then presupposes that as one who has received knowledge and truth, we must then become inquisitive about inorganic consumables.
Learn to ask the right questions. And you should get your government to reject the genetically modified maize seeds that they are providing. Don't take them.
You've got to get off of their grid. You've got to get off of their system and stop being dependent. Never has it been more critical to avoid, throw out, distance yourself from any kind of processed foods. After the DNA has been changed, in order to make it bigger, faster, and higher profit, faster to market, grown bigger so they can charge you more by the pound. It's all about greed, money, and profits. But in the process, pardon the pun, what are they doing to our bodies? Are they hiding heart attack, stroke, and then you couple it with the C-19 bioweapon shots that we know are damaging organs and body systems? Wow, we've got a recipe for depopulation, no question about it.
I was interviewing a veterinarian in the United States about GMOs, and he had told me these horrible changes that occur in animals as a result of their eating GMOs. But then he told me this story. He had a South African client, farmer, who had all these problems. He described the problems with his pigs and cows. He was losing money, low milk production, problems with the legs. His pigs had like Alzheimer's symptoms. They were cannibalistic. It was just a disaster. So we gave him all these things to do, and the farmer said, look, just tell me one thing. So he said, okay, never feed your animals another GMO again. So he started growing non-GMO corn. When he started feeding the animals the non-GMO corn, they all got better. He ran out of corn because he hadn't planted enough, had to get corn from the marketplace, which was partially GMO. Problems came back. Then he planted enough year-round non-GMO corn, fed it to the animals, and the problems went away. But his farm workers were eating the same corn. And when his animals were having problems, no one knew why. He had to hire 20% more farm workers because so many were sick. Severe headaches, flu-like symptoms, colds. He was spending inflammation. He was spending a lot of money on medicines and hiring 20% more farmers. He had to hire 60 instead of the 50 he actually needed. And the farmer told the veterinarian that once or twice a month he'd be talking to one of his workers and the eyes would start to track in different directions. And he said he knew, based on experience, within 1 or 2 days that worker would be dead. He had no idea why. When the workers started eating the non-GMO corn that was grown for the workers and the cows and the pigs, all the problems went away. When he ran out, problems came back.
So my name is Stephanie Seneff, and I'm a senior research scientist at MIT. And a lot of people have been talking about fructose, maybe not so good, high fructose corn syrup. We're beginning to be aware that high fructose corn syrup is not something healthy. Fructose is 10 times as bad as glucose at glycating protein.
High fructose corn syrup is linked to obesity, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure. The connection is so clear that doctors from the Cleveland Clinic actually advise people to keep this sweetener out of your diet. This doctor also says that high fructose corn syrup can contribute to leaky gut, which triggers inflammation, weight gain, and type 2 diabetes. So what is leaky gut? Okay, it sounds terrible. Well, it is terrible, but it's probably not the way you are imagining it. In your large intestine, we're going to pretend like this is my large intestine. The cells are really, really tight, like my fingers are really, really tight. With leaky gut, the fingers, the cells separate, and food particles, microscopic food particles, can pass through, right? This is good, this is bad. Those food particles can pass through. They get into the bloodstream, undigested food. The body sees that as a foreign invader, sets up an inflammatory response, which is what the body should do with something that it's not supposed to have. And so the immune system is working properly. However, you've got the problem with this stuff going into your bloodstream. It's causing all kinds of cytokines. It's causing all kinds of allergic reactions. And it also lets mold, right, go into the bloodstream, which circulates to all of your other organs, and it causes all kinds of problems. So we don't want that.
And so that actually, the leaky gut is the higher the prevalence of leaky gut, the more prevalence there is of autoimmune disease, of allergies, of inflammation, of cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, autism. It's a very serious condition. And BT corn pokes holes in human cells.
And this is why you're going to have to be very, very careful, because many countries, particularly in Africa and Asia, are being pressurized to accept seedlings with a lot of promise. Pray for your leaders that they will have wisdom to turn down what is being imposed upon them in various countries. You've got to use the name of Jesus Christ. At that name, every knee has been told to bow, and they have to. Somebody's got to use the name of Jesus.
These signs will follow those who believe. In my name they will cast out demons, they will speak with new tongues, they will take up serpents, and if they drink anything deadly, it will by no means hurt them. Mark 16 verses 17 to 18. The momentum is increasing as the WordFest 6 train continues to accelerate. Below are 5 important ways to participate. Register. Registration is free. Publicize and participate. Get at least 5 others to register and participate with you daily. Testify. Click on the Share Your Testimony button and upload your testimony of the impact of Pastor Chris' message in your life. Sponsor a PCDL message translation. Sponsor a language translation. Join us to make 1,000 PCDL messages available in the top 200 languages of the world. Organize outreaches. Host a daily study outreach and organize one PCDL Solutions outreach. Remember to share your insights and inspirations from today's message and documentary on King's Chat using the hashtags #WordFest6, #WordFest2024, #SolutionsEverywhere and #YourZone or Ministry Center, and get ready for more tomorrow.